All right. Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey, hey.
Welcome to another episode of
At home with the.
El-Amins. I'm in Kashi.
I'm Jihad.
We got Princess Offset in the house.
And Nyla behind
Nyla
the
behind
camera.
the camera. All right. So today we wanted to do a quick video to show you all how we set up our Kwanzaa table. But before we get into our video, we wanted to kind of highlight why we decided to start celebrating Kwanzaa and what it has been for us. So, look at this girl.
We got a break dancer down on the floor.
Princess is dancing, y'all.
Doing her Kwanzaa dance.
She's doing her Kwanzaa dance, right? Anyway, so we started celebrating Kwanzaa officially last year. Jihad grew up doing some Kwanzaa stuff.
Yeah, we did Kwanzaa back in Flint.
Yeah.
Growing up.
I never really did Kwanzaa at home, but
Shout out Neo Creoles.
I did Kwanzaa. I started observing Kwanzaa in grad school when I was in grad school at Syracuse. We would do it as a department, and it was a really special celebration. And so last year we decided to start celebrating Kwanzaa at home, just to kind of get away from the commercialization of Christmas, and to just do something that celebrates our family, our community, our culture as Black folks. So that's why we started Kwanzaa. Last year we did a number of different Kwanzaa activities, including a reading. Which you want to tell them what we did?
Yeah, we did a reading. So one of the days, remember what day it was?
I think it was on the first day, Unity.
On the Unity Day, we did reading. So then everybody who came to the house,
we invited friends and family
to the house, and they brought over pieces of literature or something that they wanted to share, that they wanted to read. It could have been a creative piece, or it was just a piece that you knew from different books. I really enjoyed the poetry, some of the short stories we heard.
Right. It was really nice.
It was really nice. We like had cocoa and drunk cocoa and had some
cookies
and stuff.
So it was really nice, a nice
vibe.
celebration of coming together and doing something purposeful. And so that's how we kicked off Kwanzaa last year. And then we closed things out by doing a Kwanzaa feast on the last day of Kwanzaa.
Smoked turkey.
Yep, Jihad made a smoked turkey for the first time, and it was delish. We also had some banging ass gumbo,
yes,
and lots of other foods from people brought. So it was like a potluck style. People brought food and drinks, and it was really nice. And Princess was a few weeks old at that time, so it was really nice kind of tradition to start her off with. So Kwanzaa, for those of you who don't know. The meaning of Kwanzaa is first fruits, so first fruits of the harvest. This is a tradition that was started back in 1966. You want to touch the camera and make sure it's good? Back in 1966 by Dr. Karenga, who was a professor at California State University, also a community activist. And so he started Kwanzaa really as a celebration of Black culture. And so it's born in America, but it's practiced by people throughout the diaspora,
yes, all
right?
over the world.
So Kwanzaa is not a religious holiday. It's non-religious, so Black folks from all religions can celebrate Kwanzaa. If you
not
Buddhist,
to replace.
it's definitely not a replacement of Christmas if that's not what you want.
Practice.
For us, we chose to do this instead of Christmas, but people do Kwanzaa and Christmas together, and that's fine too. And so, like I said, you can be Muslim, Christian, Jew, whatever you are, and still celebrate Kwanzaa. For us, once again, it's about family, community, and culture. And so, there are 7 days of Kwanzaa, starting the day after Christmas on December 26th, and it goes all the way up until the 1st of January, which is the last day. And so to go along with the 7 days, there's 7 principles of Kwanzaa, and we're going to go ahead and list those 7. Let's see how many we know off the top of our heads, and we'll fill in the gap. So the first one, Umoja is unity. Then that's followed by Kuji
Kuji Chagalia.
Kuji Chagalia.
Self-determination.
Self-determination. Then there is Ujamaa, cooperative economics. Kuumba, creativity. Shout out to Kuumba Fest, Knoxville. There's Ujima, which is collective work and responsibility. Nia is purpose, and the last principle is Imani, which means faith. Okay? So we are still, like I said, this is our second year really just doing this at home. So we are learning and figuring out the tradition and just incorporating some of our own things into it, right?
And I think that's what I enjoy about it too, that it's such a new holiday, new way to celebrate, that then it's still space for you to be able to take some of whatever you do as your traditions and make it a part of it, you know, wherever you live in the diaspora and whatever you do within the diaspora that you want to make a part of it. So your foods.
Right, because we definitely had, like we said, we had gumbo last year. We had oxtail, curry, a little bit of everything, black-eyed peas, greens, black foods from everywhere.
Yes.
So yeah, definitely want to bring in whatever's cultural to you.
Music.
Yeah, we're working on creating us a Kwanzaa song, so look out for that. It's coming soon.
Kwanzaa song.
So yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and jump into setting up our Kwanzaa table. And so in line with the 7 principles and the 7 days of Kwanzaa, there's a running theme of 7. So there's seven candles that you will light on Kwanzaa, and there's 7 major things that should be on your table. Other things are fine, but there are 7 things that you might find on just about any Kwanzaa table. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start with our piece of fabric that we're gonna add just to hold on, baby, to give some excitement and fun and African aesthetics to this Kwanzaa table. So we're gonna add this piece of fabric, and I just found this in my stash. I sewed, so I have a lot of Ankara fabric. I got this out of my stash. Tried the thing went off. And then on top of the fabric, you want to put your placemats, and that's one of the 7 things that that is important for the Kwanzaa table. I think some people would use African fabric as a placemat, but we're gonna put this placemat on top of our fabric.
Does the placemat have a meaning?
I don't know, John.
The mat.
You getting complicated with me. I don't know. There might be a meaning to it. I'm sure there's a meaning. That don't mean I know it. But that's something that we will definitely look into for the next time. So the first thing that we'll set up after our placemat is our kinara, which is our candle holder. Oops. And I got a little helper here. Hey, Princess, what was that? Hey, Princess, what was that? Here, you can play with this. So the kinara is a candle holder, which we will place our 7 candles into. Where's our lighter? Oh, it's right here.
Now, most of the kinara is usually made out of raw wood, and we haven't bought one yet. We kind of put our own little twist on it.
Yeah.
So, but then you can find wood ones. I saw on Etsy. You
Yeah.
can find a bunch of ones that's made out of wood. So
I've also seen people bring like modern twists to them too.
Yeah, I saw a lady actually, it's a YouTube video who she made them out of these little wooden blocks. So then you can make your own, and one of the principles Kwanzaa is creativity. So
Right.
you can use that creative day to make your own
That'd be a good idea.
kinara thing.
Also, people use different types of candles. I've seen like really big candles, and I've seen little candles. I've seen like the little short tea, like the ones that are just a bit bigger than the tea candles. And so once you have your black candle in the middle, you'll put 3 green on one side and then 3 red candles on the other side. So we're going to go ahead and set up the candles. And so I'm just burning the bottom of the candles. Since I can't stick them into a candle holder, I'm burning them to get some of the wax melted, and then I stick it on to this candle holder, to this, what do you call this? To these glass candle holders.
Using her Guyanese candles.
Yes, this is something that I learned how to do as a kid. Growing up in Guyana, we had lots of blackouts, so you always had candles handy, and you have to know how to use them. Okay. So once it's in there, it's stuck, it's good to go.
Princess
Usually,
putting the fruit on the
Princess is ready to put the fruit on the table.
This is where, when you get to Kwanzaa music,
Right.
we could be able to like cue Kwanzaa music. Bing digga ding digga ding ding ding.
Bing digga ding. Bing digga ding.
Ding digga ding ding ding
Come on,
ding.
Jack.
Kwanzaa time, you and me. Ding digga ding digga ding ding. Kwanzaa time, can't
Let
you
me see.
see?
Let's see what your Kwanzaa freestyling skills look like.
Ding digga ding digga. This is freestyle.
What?
Ding digga ding digga ding ding ding. Kwanzaa time, can't you see? It's Kwanzaa time. Kwanzaa.
Sure.
Kwanzaa.
Okay. So I got 2 more to go with these Kwanzaa candles. Okay.
I'm gonna say, so every night you're supposed to burn a candle.
Right. Starting with the black one in the middle.
Always start with the black one in the middle.
So that's the first night.
And then you, even when you relight them, you start with the black one, and you go back. You're supposed to actually go back through the principles and recite the principles as you relight them, and you can do a little explanation of each candle when you light it. Kind of what we did at the beginning, talking about the principle. So you talk about that principle.
Yeah. What it means.
Yes.
But also like really putting that within context of your life.
Yeah.
Your community, your personal life, your family life. You know, what does unity look like for you in your life, or collective work, or whatever.
Creativity. What all those things will look like for you, and especially practicing throughout the next year.
Right.
You know, you want to be able to carry out some of those principles through your daily existence.
And I also think that each year there's a new Kwanzaa theme, and you can find that on the Kwanzaa website. I want to say to this year something like Reimagining something. I can't remember exactly, but it's on the Kwanzaa website. It's probably like Kwanzaa.com or something. I don't know. But there's a Kwanzaa website. You can Google it, and you'll see the theme for the year.
I'm going to say, if you're creative with website design,
Yeah, they need a little help.
they need a little help with the creative to jazz up the website to another level.
Yeah. So we have the 7 candles for the 7 principles of Kwanzaa, and that's, so we have 2 things so far as far as the 7 things that need to be on the table. We have our placemat, we have our kanara with our candles. The next thing is fruits and vegetables. So as I said earlier, Kwanzaa means first fruit, and so fruits and vegetables are important for the Kwanzaa table. And so we're going to bring in our fruits and veggies. We've got some plantains. We've got some squash. We've got a butternut squash and an acorn squash. And I'll say doing Kwanzaa last year has opened up my taste palette, because now I like squash. Last year I bought an acorn squash for Kwanzaa, and at the end of Kwanzaa I was left with it, and I was like, well, I guess I have to cook it. And I realized that I really liked it, and so this year I've had lots of squash, or at least more than normal, more than usual. I had acorn, butternut, and spaghetti squash this year. So, shout out to Kwanzaa for
Getting your squash game.
me getting my squash game on. Right. So we also have mangoes, which are some of my favorite, which is one of my favorites. Also, what's this called? Pomegranate, another one of my favorite fruits. I like apples.
From Michigan, you've been to the apple orchard.
Big Blue.
So we've got some apples, and we have tangerines.
You've been to Miami or Florida.
Well, they're not as good this year. I don't know what's going on with the tangerines and oranges this year. They a little sucky.
Avocado.
And got some avocado.
If you're in Guyana, they'll call it a pear.
That's right.
So note it.
Yeah, so we got some avocado. And then plantains. We're going to cook these bad boys on Tuesday. We're having our Kwanzaa feast on Tuesday. And we're probably going to, not probably, we're going to cook the mugs. And some bananas. And was that it?
Yeah, that's it.
So these are our fruits and vegetables. You know, we got to hope that little girl hands don't get up and through this.
Books.
We got more. Oh, we're going to do the books now?
Yeah.
I'm going to finish doing the ones that are necessary first. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So one of the other important things to have on your table is a unity cup. And usually, or some people, the way some people practice Kwanzaa is that when people come over to your house, they're supposed to take a drink. You're supposed to greet them by saying Habarigani, which is Swahili for what's up, like what's the news, what's going on, that kind of thing. And they will respond back to you. And then you give them a drink out of the unity cup. We don't do that, especially for reasons like I have a cold right now and I don't want to share my germs with everybody. But we will pour a little libation out of the unity cup on Tuesday. So we have that. And then one of the other important things for the Kwanzaa table is gifts.
You can do gifts on Kwanzaa.
You can do gifts on Kwanzaa. It is usually advised or preferred that you do handmade gifts or gifts that are purchased from like black-owned companies. So these are our Kwanzaa gifts. And then the next thing that we put on our table is our books. So we'll do some books. Hand me the ones behind. Oh, hand me the ones behind you, and then the corn.
Oh,
We forgot the corn. So the corn will also go on the table, and so the idea is that you have an ear of corn for every child in the house. So we have three ears of corn.
Got a shawl?
Well, I've not seen anybody else have them our guard.
Oh.
So I feel we give it a little bit of yeah, we'll give it some nest. They're usually like old corn, usually what I've seen. Maybe I should do
We'll
this.
shuck them later.
Yeah, we'll shuck them later. But the corn, 3 ears of corn. I'll actually put the corn on this one. For each child in the house. And we have technically 2 children in the house, but technically 3 children. I used technically twice there, huh?
Yeah. We don't know if it's how many children you just have or how many children live in the house.
Either way,
So,
there are
either
always
way.
children in this house. And
But
so,
I look at it as however many children you have, that's how many pieces of corn you have.
even if your children is adult children. All right. Okay, so then we have our Kwanzaa books. We have some children's books as well as some grown-up books. Got 2 for Princess. And then we got some other books for us. Gotta have some Malcolm X on the table. Gotta have some Jamaica Kincaid. Some Alice Walker. We got Powernomics, and then A Scholar Denied. And then the books that we put on here for Princess are The Day You Begin and No More, Stories and Songs of Slave Resistance. And then Blue Chip. There we go. So these are the books that we're going to put on there. And the last piece our Kwanzaa table are just for elephants. I love elephants. I try to collect them when I can. And for me, they're just a good symbol of peace and good energy. And so we're going to put those on our table. And there's still a few things that we would like to add to grow our Kwanzaa table, to make it more festive and more in line with who we are and how we think of Kwanzaa. We definitely want to bring in some African drums, and at some point maybe get a wooden kinara and things like that. So this is our Kwanzaa table. Are we missing anything?
Nope.
We have all of the essential plus a little bit more. All the essentials plus a little bit more. Did we cover everything about Kwanzaa?
That I can think of.
Like we said, we're gonna.
If not, you can check out the podcast.
Right.
And cover whatever we left out.
Yeah, and we are going to.
Fact checkers, let us know.
Right. Like I said, we're going to do our Kwanzaa feast on Tuesday, January 1st. But thanks for looking at our video. Share it with somebody. Let us know how you celebrate Kwanzaa, what things you do with your family. If you don't do Kwanzaa, let us know what you think about it, and if it's something you think you might want to start doing with your family. All right, so you want to bring the camera in to see a better picture? All right, so that's our Kwanzaa video. Thanks for joining us.